Hey everybody, Plowboy here. Thanks for stopping by. I just recently watched Allie Beth Stuckey debate 20 progressive Christians. And this was a friendly audience, and I think they were asking honest and fair questions. But Allie Beth's style of debate is kind of like this. The question would be, hi, would you like a cup of coffee? And she'll look at you and say, well, God made the bean. And you'd look at her and say, well, that's true, but would you like a cup of coffee? And she looks at you and says, milk comes from a cow. And it just leaves you in this situation where you don't really get a direct answer. You get a lot of imagery and bobbing and weaving and, a lot of that sort of stuff. So what I want to do is answer the question as directly and simply as I can. So let's go. Let's plow in. All right, so the first question is, do you believe gay Christians should be celibate? So Allie dodges the question. She doesn't say yes or no. She's talking about design and the picture of marriage and all of this flowery, beautiful language that sounds really spiritual, but it's really just dodging and weaving. And she brings in a lot of red herrings. Now, 1 Corinthians says, each one has his own gift from God. Celibacy could be a gift, and to many people it is. Okay, I know celibate people who are very committed to their walk with the Lord, and they're perfectly fine with that. And 1 Corinthians, he who is unmarried cares for the things of the Lord, so they can really focus on their work in their faith. And this is just not in Christianity. This is through every religion, by the way. He who is able to accept it, let him accept it. So, yes, if someone cannot enter a male-female marriage, Scripture gives one alternative, celibacy. Jesus answered it. Paul answered it. Now I've answered it. But Allie did not. You may not like the answer, but there it is. Now, question 2, if a gay Christian can't enter into a straight marriage, what should they do? And Allie rejected both biblical lanes, but never offered a third scriptural option. So she avoided this question. As God has distributed to each one, remain in the calling in which you were called. Serve the Lord without distraction. These are very important points. So should they remain single? That's a good idea. And Scripture gives only one answer. It's celibacy or male-female marriage. When God gives two lanes, we can't just invent a third and run down it. Question 3. Is mixed orientation marriage fair to the woman or the man? So Allie dodges the question again. She sidesteps fairness entirely and goes back to this design and marriage and Genesis and all this sort of stuff. It's a kind of a sidestep. She just sidesteps the issue. And but we want to let our love be without hypocrisy, which is what it would be if you enter into this type of relationship. We are supposed to speak the truth with our neighbor, and we are supposed to dwell with understanding. Now, unless both spouses knowingly consent, it becomes deception. So no, you should not have these mixed relationships. This is like when somebody who is gay decides, well, I'm going to marry a man, and because it's the right thing to do. But no, you should not do that. So if honesty is missing in day 1, it's going to be missing, and love cannot grow on day 2. Next question. Does marriage continue in heaven? The simple answer is no. Allie dodges the question, but buried it under a theological fog. And this is the running theme of this debate, is fog and sidestepping and dodging and reframing and moving the goalposts. This is what Allie did throughout this entire debate. Theological fogging. The resurrection, in the resurrection, they neither marry nor are given in marriage. Bang, That's it. This is something we don't understand. The Bible constantly refers to the church as the body of Christ, and there's this union, there's this wedding dinner, there's all of this marriage symbolism in the Bible. But no, there's no marriage in heaven. And heavenly union is with Christ. And marriage is kind of this foreshadowing or a shadow of things to come. But ultimately, the substance is Christ. And if you think about it, being the body of Christ is like being in the body of God, because Jesus and God are the same thing. So we're going to enter into this spiritual realm, being a part of God, but still being ourselves. It's a mystery, if you ask me. Question 5. If polygamy appears in Scripture, why isn't it valid today? Now, Allie dodges this again, too. She kind of pleads it through. She uses a lot of descriptive framing and not really a prescriptive selectivity. It's a weird answer that she gives. And there's a few passages of Scripture. So, he shall not lay with multiple wives. Genesis, the two shall become one flesh. 1 Kings, his wives turned his heart away. So the answer is no. God never endorsed it. He actually restricted it. Polygamy is just this thing that mankind started to do. And I've gone down this road before. I've done a little research on this. And there are modern polygamous couples that are being interviewed on Dateline and NBC and all these, you can find them on YouTube. And they just don't look happy. This one guy just looks miserable in this thing I saw. It breeds jealousy. There's a hierarchy thing. It's not good, and God rejects it. Now, the Bible reporting something does not equal God supporting it. Question 6. How did Adam and Eve's children populate the earth? I love this question. I have wrestled with this for years, but Allie basically says, I don't know, which was honest, and I appreciate that. But there are theories that have been discussed, and just like many other things, we just don't know. We just don't understand, But we can agree that the secret things belong to the Lord. It's a secret. And we do know that Adam begot sons and daughters. And we do know that through one man, sin entered the world. So everything still points to Adam and Eve. So we have to assume it came through incest, as weird as that sounds. But the idea is that humanity required close relationship or relative marriages before there was this genetic decay where we can't do it now. And some Bible mysteries are not contradictions, just early history. We just don't know for sure. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I'm going to try to stay focused. All right. Where does the Bible condemn committed same-sex relationships? Fair question. Allie dodges it, but she kind of asserted conclusions without dissecting the context. So she oversimplified the answer. But right there in Romans 1:26-27, men with men committing that what is shameful. 1 Corinthians, homosexuals will not enter into the kingdom. And Leviticus, you shall not lie with a male as with a woman. The Bible clearly condemns it. You can wordplay it all you want, but you're going to be just talking in circles and justifying things. And that's not what we're here to do. We're here to give direct answers. So Scripture is very blunt, and that's where people tiptoe. That's where they do the dance. That's where they're sidestepping and weaving and bobbing. Been there, done it. Question 8. Is Romans 1 mainly about idolatry? And the idolatry context was completely ignored by Allie. So we have to put this into context. Paul was talking about idolatry and the fallout. So she is guilty of a context of omission. Now, what Paul's talking about is changing the glory of God into the image of corruptible man. For example, worshiping a stone or a carving or a calf made of gold or any sort of idolatry that you want to place. It could be your identity. And that's what a lot of this is kind of boiled down to for me, is that people are placing their identity and their own needs before God's word and what God's word actually says. Now, Romans mentions that they exchanged the truth for a lie. And in Exodus, you shall have no other gods before me. So this is the context that this is going in. And the end result of this idolatry is that God gives them over to a reprobate mind, lust, greed, envy, all of the things that are of the flesh. God gives them over. So if you're going to reject God's word and you're going to create your own God, the end result is not going to be good for your country, for your city, for your state, for your family. And that's the context of this, is worshiping something else. Oh yeah, one other point I want to make is that when you shrink context, like Allie did, you shrink the truth of the message. So you always have to look at the context. Now, question 9. Why didn't Paul use common Greek words for homosexual relationships? And I'm going to open with a little song, go something like this. I'm happy and gay, I'm happy and gay, don't take my happy gay away. Yeah, I'm not the best singer. But if I were to sing that song in the 1940s, people would say, oh, he's happy, he's gay, he's happy, happy, happy. That's all it meant. It meant happy. Now, if I was to sing that song today, it means I'm happy and I'm homosexual. So we can see that just within the span of our lifetime, words have changed. This happens over and over again. So we can't just look at words and get into this whole word thing. For years I studied the Bible without Greek and without Hebrew and without doing any of that stuff. I thought it was so cliche how teachers would say, well, the Hebrew meaning and the Greek meaning, and they get into that. That's all well and good, and there's nothing wrong with that. But my thinking for years was, hey, I'm going to interpret this through the King James Version without the Greek or the Hebrew or anything else. And of course, you can't avoid Greek and Hebrew. And a lot of it came into my theology. It even more so has now. But you have to understand the context. And when you start digging deep into the weeds like this, you always have to look at context, understand cultural, how it relates to the culture and what might have changed. But she just dismissed this challenge outright. And it's a valid point. It's a valid point. But she was very dismissive on this. And once again, Leviticus says, you shall not lie with a man, nor sodomites, and all scripture is inspired by God. So that Paul intentionally mirrored Leviticus in this. So you have to look at other verses of scripture. You have to let the Bible interpret itself. You can't just read one verse and jump to all these conclusions. It's not fair, it's not honest, and it's not good exegesis. So at the end of the day, Paul wasn't confused about his wording. He was being consistent with his culture and the framework that they were working in within that culture. Question 10 was just like this really wow portion of the whole thing. One of the question, the question is, if empathy is dangerous, should we stop using empathy? And one of the questioners said that we do not have enough empathy for each other. And empathy and compassion are a little bit different within this context. So Allie framed empathy as a threat instead of a tool. But what she really didn't clarify is that empathy needs to be anchored in truth, right? So you don't walk down a primrose path with somebody because of empathy when they're dead wrong, okay? Or when they're on a destructive path. And that's where it can become dangerous. But compassion is anchored in truth. And she basically created a false dilemma. You know, you can't use empathy, you can use compassion. It was just foggy. But the Bible is full of compassion. Jesus was full of compassion. Jesus wept, smallest verse in the Bible, because of his compassion. He went to the woman at the well, and he laid out her life story with compassion, and he offered her the river of life. Man, powerful stuff. God is love, right? We're supposed to have empathy. That's where I so agreed with the young man asking this question, because Allie was so confusing on this whole issue. The Bible says, sanctify them by your truth. So we must be anchored in truth. If somebody says, I think it would do me good to jump off this cliff, and we have empathy and say, well, if that's, you know, how you feel about it and that's what you want to do, then that's probably a good idea. No, we say, no, compassion is pulling them away from the edge. So empathy must be guided by Scripture, not discarded. And the takeaway is empathy is not the enemy. Unanchored empathy is. So in closing, I would just like to frame this in a way that there's no celebrity sin, okay? Being a homosexual is not a celebrity sin. Being LGBT is not celebrity sin. Same-sex marriage, no. Sin is sin. It's all the same. If I had the choice to sit with, if I was at a party and over here we had a couple Christians who were dishonest and manipulative and self-centered, and we had a gay couple who was married, I would rather sit and talk to the gay couple. Now, as far as gay marriage is concerned, for me, if you're gay, you're a Christian, you want to get married, nothing is going to stop you. Go do it. That is your cross to bear, and that is the path that you are on. And, you know, along with marriage comes a contract, and you can enter into the marriage contract in this world system. But let's not confuse that with covenant. And in the Bible, a marriage between a man and a woman is a covenant with God at the top, blessing this union. I don't believe that's true for a gay couple who gets married. But if you're a gay couple, you want to be Christian, go for it. Do your best. You know, that's all we're all trying to do here. You're going to face a lot of challenges being gay. One of them is you have a very diluted partner pool, because instead of being limited to all the women in the world, you are going to be limited to only gay men in the world. So you have a very narrow dating pool. There's just a lot of logistical things about being homosexual, being in a homosexual marriage. But as far as I'm concerned, I could care less if you're gay, if you're straight, if you're bi. I don't really care. What I'm more concerned about is, are you looking toward Jesus and the grace of God to establish your walk? Are you admitting that your sin exists in some way, shape, form, or another? You may think that same-sex partnerships is not a sin, and that's fine. Think that all you want. I've been there. I've done a lot of things that I thought weren't sin, but later on down the road, I learned they were. And this is where the shaping comes in, the molding of us as human beings, is those revelations as we go through life and we realize, wow, we're missing the mark here. We're missing the mark there. So personally, you know, I try not to lie. I try not to cheat. I try not to steal. I'm obviously straight. I'm married. I'm faithful. And but there's other sin in my life. Okay, and we all have a thorn in our flesh. And the idea is to walk with Christ, understand His grace, understand things in context. Don't tiptoe around the truth, and carry your own cross. Work out your own salvation with fear and with trembling. Anyway, I'm the Plowboy here. I hope I've given some direct answers to some very tough questions. Wasn't attacking Allie Beth. I think she's very smart, but I think she did a terrible job answering these questions. Everybody have a great day.